Right, good morning everybody. I'm really just going to say a few quick words of opening remarks because I think we really want to hear from the people who are going to tell you about the detail of this fund. As you've already heard, my role in this was as Chief Executive of the Economic and Social Research Council, where I also had a role as the RCUK International Champion. And that meant working alongside government and also, of course, all the research councils and indeed other agencies that are involved in this fund to try and help put together the programme from the beginning. I suppose I just want to make a few key points. The first, of course, in a sense, I'm poacher turned gamekeeper, having worked on the Research Council side and now, of course, starting to think about the fund from the other angle, from the university side and what it appears to look like from the academics' point of view and so on. Of course, you're going to hear much more detail from Madeline about the precise nature of the fund, but I think you're all aware it is a very large and substantial fund. It lasts over 5 years, and frankly, as far as I can judge, it's about the first serious attempt that this government has made to engage in this way with a range of different emerging countries in such a concerted way. And by that I mean it, from the beginning, has attempted to involve a wide range of different agencies in the UK who have responsibility for engaging with international partners in science and innovation. So from that point of view, it's extremely exciting, and it really does mark, I think, a change in the way that we as a nation are going to engage overseas, and of course that also means how we as universities and academics within them are going to engage. Of course, don't forget, and you'll hear again some detail about this on the panel, this is a fund which is designed to promote the economic development and welfare of partner countries. And as you develop bids, and indeed as the research councils and the other agencies involved in this have put together the programs of work that they're encouraging you to bid for, a lot of careful consideration has had to go into how do we make sure that this fund really does meet those goals. And of course that's different to the goals of some of the other funding that research councils, indeed other agencies may have. So that's of course something that we need to learn a lot about, and you will do later on. The aim, of course, if there's a central aim from the government's point of view, is to make the UK the partner of choice. We want to engage with countries who are emerging and becoming, in the near future, probably very exciting countries in relation to their science and innovation strategies and development. Of course, while that's a fantastic opportunity for us, and clearly we want to engage with as many countries as we can in this way, it is, of course, a challenge for them. One of the interesting things is this fund was agreed in very short time. It's a very large amount of money, and the expectation is that there will be matched funding from the other countries. So this, as you can probably guess, has led to a significant number of challenges in trying to engage countries, persuade them that, out of the blue as it were, they should engage in matching funding with the UK in a range of different opportunities. And I have to say that the teams of people who've been involved, some of whom are up here on the panel, but many of whom are in the room today, have done a quite remarkable job to get this fund to where it is today. I don't think many of the people in the room are going to realise just how challenging that's been, and indeed what a success story we've got so far. That's not to say there won't be one or two challenges along the way, no doubt, but I honestly believe that we're in a really very good position. Thirdly, I just wanted to remind everyone, of course, this is a fund that covers the breadth of science, so from the arts and humanities right through to the medical and natural sciences. And that again is, of course, to be welcomed. And what it encourages is us to think very hard about how we think more about doing interdisciplinary work with these countries overseas. Again, interdisciplinary work is not the be-all and end-all, but there are many research questions where I really genuinely believe we need more interdisciplinary approaches. So to take on that challenge in a fund that involves one or indeed more countries overseas as well is of course also very exciting. But the point I made at the beginning, bearing that in mind, we also have to remember, of course, that this aim of promoting economic development and welfare also has to be knitted into that. So we've got to make sure that the types of research questions that you want to address really do meet those goals. Final couple of points. One, I've already hinted at this. In the role that I had as international champion at RCUK, one of the things that was very apparent, if I'm honest, is we would travel abroad a lot, we'd meet many agencies overseas, and one of the challenges for them is that they often saw the UK as a bit disjointed. We had research councils and academies and TSB and British Council, a whole range of different organisations which at times looked as if perhaps they were doing things that overlapped. I don't think that we were overlapping, at least as far as we were concerned, but I think it was very easy for other countries to portray us in that way and perhaps sometimes be a bit confused how to engage with the UK. Again, one of the great success stories of this fund, and I think it will have really long-term implications into the future, is that we're now, I think, presenting a much more joined-up approach. It really has helped, I think, not only these agencies to come together in the UK and work in a much more concerted way, but secondly, I think it's helped countries overseas understand a little bit more about what it is that we do here and why it does on occasion make sense for different agencies to take responsibility for different parts of the funding agenda. Finally, and one last point, of course, having come from the research councils where excellence was the word we used in virtually every other sentence, and probably the research councils still do, and I am absolutely committed to that. I think excellence has to be at the heart of a great deal of what we do. But of course, this fund has also forced us to think very carefully about that careful balance between wanting to do excellent work with the most excellent scientists wherever they are in the world, but also as a nation, wanting to have a strategic engagement with those countries that perhaps on some markers like citations and so on may not be excellent just yet, but undoubtedly will be having niche excellent areas in the near future. And that's again a challenge. We've got to think very hard about how we use our resources in the best ways to engage with the very best people, but also accept that it's sensible to have a good strategy for how we're going to engage with those countries that will come on board in the near future. So I won't say any more, just to say I'm very proud to have been involved in helping set this fund up. I think for universities and academics it really will be a fantastic opportunity, and I look forward to seeing over the next few years how the one or two problems I mentioned are resolved, because we'll wait and see how they come through. So thank you very much.